Hi everyone. So I only have a little bit of time before my first appointment of the day, so it's Saturday now. Normally on Horner Fellowship, you get weekends off to go explore and experience Japanese culture, right? Um, because some of the places I requested to go aren't open on certain days of the week, and also I requested to view some specialized collections and stuff. I had to go on the weekend, which cut into my personal time a little bit. But the JLA, Japanese Library Association, actually did really well trying to account for making sure that I had enough time off. It just so happens that I personally filled it up with a whole bunch of other meetings, so that's my fault. Uh, but so today I'm going to the Museum of Japanese History, and that's actually pretty far out of Tokyo. It's like a 70-minute train ride to Sakura, which is where the museum is located. So I'm going to be seeing some of their collections and getting to look at a display that they had up, I think it was like 2 years ago, maybe, on the ENPO protests, which is a large part of what I'm studying. So, ENPO are protests that happened in Japan, especially with student and youth social organizations to protest the Japan US security treaty and renewing of the security treaty. It was huge and really important in terms of radical activism in Japan among student groups, but also is very traumatizing. And the aftermath of those protests resulted in a lot of feelings that are enduring even still today about the idea of radicalism and protest and activism and stuff. So that trauma is very much still in Japanese culture, which I'm starting to maybe make a connection that that's why activism and issues of social justice are talked about in a very, very, very different way now, is because of this traumatic past. But again, it's important to mention that in these videos, I'm not making any sort of claims. I'm here to gather a bunch of information, and sometimes some of the things I say are just my personal opinions of piecing some things together here and there. So do with that as you will. That's all that is. So I'm going to the museum today to look at what did I just call it? The exhibit that they used to have on the Anpo protests, which is really exciting. It's going to take a while to get there, so it's the only meeting I have for the day because it's 70 minutes both ways. I feel really bad for my interpreter. She's so sweet and so wonderful. All of my interpreters have been absolutely fantastic so far, and they have such long days. They're doing so much work, so I think I might get them. I did bring them a special omiyagi, so usually ahead of time the JLA will send you a tentative schedule. So I did know some of the people I was meeting with. I didn't know everybody, but I tried to get special, slightly more expensive omiyagi or gifts, so gifts from your home, for my interpreters. But a couple of interpreters weren't on my list, so thankfully I heavily overcompensated with omiyagi. I brought a ton of stuff because I knew I'd be giving it away, which would free up room in my luggage to take stuff back for you all. But yeah, I wish I would have had like slightly more of the more expensive gifts, but I did also pre-prepare like thank you cards and a couple other things. Anyway, to thank the interpreters because they seriously do like so much work. It's ridiculous. Yeah. So that's what I'm doing today, but I did want to talk really quickly just about like getting around in Japan. So not all librarians, but a lot of librarians are very like shy, maybe. That's probably an unfair generalization. I consider myself, I guess, to be shy, even though I'm capable of being outgoing. I'm very ambiverted. So I get nervous very, very easily. I have anxiety. So if I were to rate, for example, Japan on a scale of not anxiety inducing at all to massively anxiety inducing, 0 to 10, it would definitely be like a 10. Uh, like Tokyo is a megacity, right? For those librarians in Arizona, like we don't have a megacity. Phoenix, which is the biggest city, is basically like mini suburbs kind of put together. So even downtown Phoenix is like not overwhelming at all. It's overwhelming to me because to me that's big, and I kind of grew up like in a rural area near Prescott. So, and I was prepared for all of this. I was prepared for Tokyo to be really overwhelming, but you're going to hear me say this in every single video. There's a big difference between knowing something and experiencing something, right? We know that. This was just one of those reminders where I'm like, oh, yeah, I'm in a very different place. There are so many people. So when I arrived at the airport, getting through customs was actually pretty good. What's great about Japan is that everything is really well organized and color coded. Yes, thank goodness for color coding. Like, it's been so helpful. If you ever get lost, follow the colors. Google Maps is really great for navigating around Japan, especially the transit system, and there's other specialized apps. But when I was at the airport, oh my goodness, finding the right shuttle to get on after like a 15 hour flight, and flying unfortunately triggers my migraines. I get chronic migraines, so I like had this migraine, and I was like trying to communicate, and I was trying to find a bus, and there's like 1,000 buses. Oh my god, it was so stressful. It was so stressful, and that's how everything started. So it took me like days. I'm just barely getting to the point where I'm like mildly comfortable going out. Because I was like, I don't want to say traumatized, but I was kind of scarred from that initial experience. I was like, oh, I'm so scared. And I'm very nervous about being rude or not following proper etiquette and stuff. So a lot of this is on me. Like, clearly they know I'm a tourist. I stand out, especially with my hair. Thankfully, I took out all my piercings, so I'm trying, to not be too accosting to their senses. But yeah, just arriving was so difficult, and then checking into the hotel was really difficult, because again, like, English is a little bit minimal, and they couldn't find my reservation. So stressful. So after a couple days of like meetings that went pretty well, but because of my topic about social justice, talking about it in Japan is just very different. So I could, even though everybody was very polite, I can tell in the first couple days I was here with the first couple meetings, like they were really uncomfortable with some questions talking to me, even though I really depoliticized a lot of the questions and I framed them as very neutral. It's still like, to us it's neutral, but it's like a point of contention here. Just communication about social and political issues is very, very different. Clearly, like, this was known before I came, but again, experiencing it is just really different. So first couple days, really stressful, but not in a bad way, just in a different way, in an indication that I'm in a different place and I have to adjust to it. I always tell my students in class that if you're struggling or if you're frustrated or if you're feeling uncomfortable, that means that you're learning, right? And that's a good thing. Learning is always a good thing, and sometimes it's really painful. Yeah, so it's been stressful. It's been a little stressful. And there's been typhoons, and again, because of my migraines, big changes in pressure and weather caused some pretty severe migraines. So I've had like typhoon migraines, and it's been so freaking windy. So windy. Like, clearly typhoons are very windy, but the other day I was like, it's so windy. But my hair is aerodynamic, so it's okay. Yeah, so after a couple days, when I was starting to feel more comfortable, like, oh yay, after my meetings I'm gonna go venture out, I'm gonna go see what there is, I went to Shinjuku. If I were to do it again, and for any of you, I would recommend Shinjuku if you get anxiety like me, like maybe not going to Shinjuku for your first solo trip. Shinjuku is very well known for being the busiest train station. Yeah, and again, I knew this and I was like, I can handle it. I'll get nervous, but I'll figure it out. What's the worst that could happen? Which was like, it turned out fine. Clearly, I'm here and I'm making this video. Oh, so stressful. Yeah, I've never seen so many people in my life, like, ever. I think, like, peak, like, numbers of people at Disneyland where you can, like, barely walk around and move, but, like, times 4 at the minimum, like, on every street, every corner, every crosswalk, every train. Oh. So I probably should have gone to a place that wasn't as crowded. But on the other hand, despite having really bad anxiety, as long as you know you have technology, you know you have a way out, like everything will be okay in the end. It would be better if I had somebody with me, I feel like, but you know, sometimes learning is painful, so I'm going back to Shinjuku tonight to visit a zine distro, a zine collective there, and a couple other, like an activist cafe they have. But I feel a little bit better going back because now I have sufficiently been prepared for this inevitability. Yeah. So I feel like, though, now that I've done Shinjuku, and it was my very first time going, and it was very stressful, and there was a lot going on, I feel like I can do anything at this point. Like, I'm good. I'm okay. I say that, but there's inevitably going to be times where I'm just very stressed. I am getting a little bit better at the subway and train station. Sometimes it's confusing because there's a lot of construction in a lot of the train stations, and so they're very maze-like, extremely maze-like. But use Google Maps. Google Maps will tell you exactly what color you're supposed to follow. So every single train has a different color, and as long as you follow the colored signs, you're good. It also tells you exactly what platform to get on, exactly what underground entrance, because you would think, like, okay, each city has like one entrance for a train station. No, there's so many entrances, and you have to go in a certain one if you want to take a certain train to a certain direction. Sometimes if you go in the wrong entrance, the train you're taking is going the complete opposite way, and then you have to go back out and go all the way around or go through this maze. It's a lot. But again, like, just rely on technology. I think in one of my blog posts I put a whole bunch of links to like super useful apps. Yeah, like I have relied so heavily on my phone for so many things, but it really saves you. So bring battery charging packs to make sure that your phone is always good. And the hotel I'm staying at, which is really cool, includes a cell phone for you to take around, which is really cool because this is like a popular international hotel in a business district. And so actually the World Rugby Tournament thingy is going on right now, and the Paralympics are starting and or started. I'm not exactly sure. So they know that there's a lot of tourists here, so they let you take this phone, which I take with me every day, even though I haven't used it yet. This makes me feel so much better because I know if my phone stops working or something happens, like, I always have a backup. And this is only while I stay here, but this has been like a great peace of mind for the first part of my trip. Yeah. So Shinjuku, it was excellent. There were a ton of people, so many people, a lot of Americans too, and other tourists. And yeah, some experience I've had with other tourists just has reminded me, for better or worse, a little bit that, like, I'm okay. I'm doing all right. Like, there's been a lot of really interesting circumstances that I've seen other tourists in that have been a little bit appalling and frustrating, and I feel very bad for some local people. But even just little things like that, I realize, okay, I'm doing my best. As long as you Try your best to be polite. Try your best to speak as much as you can. You'll be okay. I'm doing okay. You'll be okay. Everything's all right. It's a learning experience, and people are very understanding. People are very, at the very least, you can always rely on people in Japan to be very polite, extremely polite, and do their best to help you. So there's been a lot of times at restaurants or the Necco store, for example, where people are just so helpful. I accidentally left my change in a kipu, like a machine at one point. So in a lot of restaurants here, when you order, you like order through a machine, almost like a vending machine, but it gives you this little ticket, and then you take the ticket to the counter, which is really great for tourists. If you are having trouble ordering or keep forgetting the words to order food or get nervous, go to one of those restaurants, get a ticket, give it to them, and you are good to go. You'll get your food with minimal interaction. That's been really, really great for people with anxiety, really great for me. So there are totally ways to cope with all of this. But anyway, I forgot my change in one of those machines, and some man saw, and he was so helpful, and he came up and he gave it to me, and yeah, that was lovely. So it's been a really good experience, a little anxiety inducing. Probably wouldn't be, if I'm being honest, it wouldn't be as bad if I didn't have a chronic health condition. It makes it a little difficult, but like, again, it's still wonderful. So I'll let you know how Shinjuku goes tonight. Yeah, I was only able to explore a little bit last time because I got so anxious that I had to leave, and also I think I hurt my leg. I've been walking so much that I think I tore a muscle in my calf, which sucks. Because tomorrow is my first actual day off, and I really wanted to go to Harajuku and Shibuya, especially because they have like weekend like things, events, and park, like Yoyogi Park and stuff. I wanted to do that, but we'll see. I'll try my best. But yeah, Shinjuku is great. I did a gacha machine, so their claw machines are really popular, especially in the Sega store in Shinjuku, and also kind of like the machines that you put quarters in, and you can get like little capsule toys. In the States, there's something similar here in Japan. They're called gacha. But they give you like these really high quality, like awesome things in theirs. So I got this from my little brother. It's oh my gosh, it's not Monster Hunter, not Monster Rancher, something like that. It's some sort of a thing that he likes. Anyway, I got this for him. I'm really excited to give it to him. It was like 2 yen. It's really cheap. So you need to get rid of your change, go to the gacha store. It was so much fun. I love doing that. The Sega store is amazing, and I saw Godzilla on top of the cinema. I posted about it in the Instagram, so look at those pictures. They're really cool. And today I'll just be visiting, I'll be visiting like the Zine distro and stuff like that, because I think they have a climate event tonight. Yeah, I think that's it. Not a short video. Never. It's never going to be a short video. I just talk so much. Also, this camera angle is like never flattering. Anyway. What else? What else was I going to talk about? Things are stressful, but they're great. Yeah. I think that's pretty much it. I'll be talking about other stuff, some of the things I learned, some of the issues I've had with communication, which are hilarious and embarrassing. Shinjuku in particular. I tried to order takoyaki, which are squid balls. I took a picture of those on the Instagram too. And I said yon. I wanted like 4 takoyaki. But sometimes, what's the translation? Yonsu? I don't think that's right. But instead of saying 4, I said 4 orders of. So you can imagine how that turned out. I feel like the person taking my order should have known, or maybe she was just like, God, Americans, they eat so much. There's so many Americans though. I feel like she knew, so she gave me 4 orders of takoyaki. There was so much takoyaki. And I was so embarrassed because I'm so shy and so worried about what people think of me, which is on me, right? But so I ate it all. I ate all. Oh my gosh. I was not representing Americans well. They're probably like, wow, she ate a lot of takoyaki. And I was gonna go out for dessert after that, but I was so full, like so sick and so full that I didn't even eat breakfast and lunch the next day because I ate so many takoyaki. Because I had 4 orders, not 4 takoyaki. Mm. And also, I keep a little. Where's my bag? Oh, it's not here. I actually have a little notebook. It's like a flip pad that I have written down all of what I've found to be the most useful Japanese phrases so that I could just easily flip it out and flip through to communicate better. But wouldn't you know, my pride always gets in the way, or I get too nervous that I don't get out my flip book because I'm worried about what people think about me, and then I wind up ordering 4 orders of takoyaki like a fool. Like a fool. So, don't be like me. Just use your Japanese phrase book, like, or like Google Translate it. Oh, what's wrong with me? So many things. So many things. And yet I'm okay. So, I am almost late to go meet for my next meeting and take a train for 70 minutes. So I will make another video tonight about how the museum went and how some of my other meetings have gone. And it's Friday for you all. It is Friday evening at 5:30. So I hope you are having a great start to your weekend. I hope it's super relaxing and super awesome. I really hope that during my day off tomorrow, I can go to Harajuku and Shibuya. I want to go to a mega Don Quixote store. Yeah, and a Daiso. There's videos and stuff in my Tumblr about what a Don Quixote store and what a Daiso is. They're like yen, like discount stores and stuff. So if you come to Japan, if you need to get souvenirs, like go to those stores. And also they're huge. And I'll be going to like Tokyo Hens and stuff like that. I'll take lots of pictures. I'll tell you about it later. Super excited. Hopefully my calves are okay. I bought like canned iced coffee because there's no ice here. There's no ice in Japan, which is a bummer for my migraines because I usually carry ice packs with me, like those water bottles that you can put on your head, but there's no ice. So I've been having to improvise, and I got canned coffee that I put in the fridge, and then I like use cold cans of coffee for like my head and then my leg and stuff like that. ASU #1 in innovation, right? Okay. I'm gonna stop talking now. Otherwise, I could keep going and going. So, yeah, have a great weekend, everyone. I'm so excited to talk to you later. I miss you all. I think about you often. Okay. Bye. Goodbye. Goodbye.